to support state's farmers. And DK Shivakumar was also seen drinking Nandini buttermilk. So, fresh controversy has erupted in the state of Karnataka, which is set to go for polls the next month. And this fresh controversy is between Amul and Nandini milk brand. CNN News 18's Akshara is joining us on this story. Akshara, how do you see this development? KPCC chief visiting the Nandini milk parlor and drinking buttermilk over there. What message does this send out?
Well, you see, right from when the whole controversy erupted and even Amul made the announcement that it will be entering Bengaluru providing its milk products, the Congress has critically opposed it, stating that it is a threat to the KMF here, Karnataka Milk Federation, and it raised important questions when there is already a cooperative sector here and you have its brand Nandini when it's providing milk products.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching The Nation at 5 with me, Anusha Sonia. Top focus this hour are some details emerging from that crucial investigation of the Punjab police. Papal Preet has been arrested. These are some exclusive details that we get for you. Top Punjab police sources tell us that the Amritsar rural police laid a trap and interrogated all possible handlers. That's exactly how this arrest was successful. With the help of human intelligence, arrest was made possible. That's the detail coming in. Anshul with us on the broadcast. Anshul, what more details do you have?
So yes, it has been revealed that the Punjab police was actually looking for Papal Preet Singh for a very long time. Now it has been almost more than 20 days since this entire incident happened, and now the manner in which Papal Preet Singh has been arrested actually tells the entire story of how Punjab police was laying a trap to get their hands on him. Because remember, Amritpal Singh himself did not have a lot of contacts on the ground, and this was the point of interrogation that the Punjab police was following. They were actually looking at leads and the contacts of Papal Preet Singh, and through human intelligence is what we have been told is that they were able to get down the last location of Papal Preet Singh, and hence they went ahead and nabbed him successfully. Because remember, the attempts of Punjab police have continuously been going on. Papal Preet Singh has been able to escape from the grasp of Punjab police twice already, initially when he first fled with Amritpal Singh, and then on the 29th of March when in Hoshiarpur, we saw the manner in which Amritpal Singh and Papal Preet Singh again escaped from the grasp of police. So yes, he has been playing a very active role in making sure that Amritpal Singh stays away from the grasp of Punjab police. But yes, after the incident that happened in Hoshiarpur, their entire plan seemed to have been derailed, and hence they decided to flee in different directions, and that is the reason why the Punjab police was very easily had gathered information about him and finally managed to go ahead and take arrest of Papal Preet Singh.
Anshul getting us all the details on that very important story. We'll continue tracking this and much more on the story and the ongoing investigation. The man himself, Amritpal, he continues to remain on the run. Another important story of the day, India's Home Minister Amit Shah is visiting the northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh, a visit to signal India's sovereignty and position vis-a-vis Arunachal Pradesh. He's set to take stock of some crucial infrastructure which are going on right now. These are key infrastructure projects on which the government has given a lot of thrust. Now, this village, talking about the Kibithu village, a border village in Arunachal Pradesh. That's where the Home Minister is. This village is located near the India-China border. The Home Minister is scheduled to attend various events and launch the Vibrant Villages program. In this region, we'll get to the details of it in just a while. This is a very important infrastructure development and a strategic program. India's Home Minister visit to the state has, as expected, angered the Chinese. Beijing has shot a statement to the national capital, to New Delhi. Listen in to what China said about Home Minister Amit Shah's visit.
藏南是中国的领土，印方高官赴藏南活动，侵犯了中国领土主权，不利于边境地区的和平安宁，中方对此坚决反对。
So that's what exactly the word is that came from the Chinese. As expected, the move has angered them. The move, India's move of talking about the Vibrant Village program, it comes after China released a new set of standardized names for 11 places, and this is about the territory here in India, in Arunachal Pradesh. India's Vibrant Village program is a counter to the Chinese move. Here's what the Chinese have been planning. Under this scheme, China has built about 100 home villages across LAC, telling you about what the Chinese and their entire scheme and design really has been. These ghetto-like villages are spread across Tibet and India-China border. The scheme was launched in the name of poverty alleviation. They said it was aimed at building critical infrastructure in China. But various reports in Indian and American media have showed how the project is aimed to act as China's security barrier. Satellite reports even found some villages placed beyond China's border. US Department of Defense has named the program as China's military development, a part of that program across the border. Now, China has called Arunachal Pradesh Zangnan. Perhaps this reaction explains a lot. India is making a series of moves to match up with China's aggression, unpredictability, and their perpetual expansionist policies. As we told you that Amit Shah has launched the Vibrant Villages program. Under this program, there would be infrastructure push for villages across the northern border. The project shall boost security and all-weather connectivity across the LAC. Border connectivity in states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Ladakh shall be augmented. Most of these states have the line of actual control. The project covers about 2,963 villages. As of now, in the first phase, 663 villages will be covered. The support of local district administration, Gram Panchayat, shall also be sought and is very crucial in development of infrastructure along the border area, especially in difficult geographical terrains. Now, the program is over and above the border area development program without any overlaps, which is going on. So that's exactly telling you how India is planning the infrastructure development in the northeast. This is one of the regions which post-independence has not seen the kind of infrastructure development like we would want it to have. And the Chinese move of naming the villages in Arunachal Pradesh has once again put India on an alert. We've already been alert, keeping in mind the kind of transgressions we have seen along the line of actual control. Multiple friction points that continue to remain a bone of contention between India and China. Multiple level talks have happened, and that's a process that continues to go on. But there are no signs that the Chinese are showing of de-escalation. These kind of expansionist policies and provocation on India's sovereign territory, naming the villages per se, is not new. The Chinese have done it before. Arunima with us on the broadcast. Arunima, what does the visit of the Home Minister signal?
See, what he said while being in Tibetu is extremely significant. Tibetu is just on the line of actual control. Just across the LAC is the Chinese territory. So very close to the Chinese territory. The Union Home Minister goes and says that we want peace. We don't want war with anyone. But nobody should have any doubt that not 1 inch of our territory can be encroached upon. So from that location, for him to give that message just a couple of hours after Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson objected to the Home Minister's visit, carries its own political weight. Also, this is coming at a time when China has unilaterally renamed parts of Arunachal Pradesh, calling it part of southern Tibet. And that renaming also has not impressed India at all. India has not reacted, saying it's unilateral. So for the Home Minister to be in Tibetu itself is significant. It's the easternmost tip of India. It's a border village of Arunachal Pradesh. And from there to launch the Vibrant Village program, interact with ITBP at a time when we have seen clashes with the PLA, both in Yangtze, which is in Arunachal after Galwan happened, is also significant. Vibrant Village program is meant to build infrastructure for the villagers in these border villages and encourage mainland Indian tourists to reach these areas so that they also know what our borders look like.
They also know what our borders look like. The manner in which the Chinese have been building infrastructure along the border areas, Arunima, is decades-long project that the Chinese have carried out. India is catching up to the game. The present government in the last tenure as well had put a lot of emphasis on creating infrastructure along the border areas in the northeast. Vis-a-vis the northeast and infrastructure creation, what are the special efforts that the government has taken in the last 8 years?
So let me take you back to February this year. In February, the Cabinet Committee on Security met and a long-pending demand of ITBP for more manpower, more infrastructure was met. In February, about 47 border outposts of ITBP and 12 staging halts were approved, along with more manpower in terms of a battalion getting improved and a sectoral headquarters in Arunachal Pradesh. So this government is giving this message that we are developing civilian infrastructure so that our civilians in border areas have a better life and have a stake in staying on and not migrating outside of the border. At the same time, our personnel are being given infrastructure as well. Why was this significant? Because ITBP, even when it went to patrol, if you see the map from Tawang all the way to Kibitu, patrolling would take you more than 2 days in a snowbound area, and they didn't even have a place to stay at night. So it was inhuman condition for them. These 12 staging halls were the first step the Indian government took, and then that sectoral headquarter that is being built, more than 9,000 personnel getting recruited, is also a message that we want to secure our territory along the line of actual control.
Arunima getting us all the details and a peep into what India has been planning in carrying out a policy, also the infrastructure projects that we have placed a huge thrust upon. Thank you, Arunima, for getting us all those details. Joining us on the broadcast is Mr. PKD Nambiar, who is a political analyst. We also have Sujata Paul, who is the spokesperson of the Congress Party. Lieutenant General retired KJ Singh, who is the former GOC of the Western Command, is joining us on the broadcast. Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Lieutenant General KJ Singh, coming to you, taking in a word from you. The visit of the Home Minister, what kind of signal is it, keeping in mind that the kind of provocations coming in from the Chinese are perpetual, and despite multiple efforts from the side of the Indians, they continue on their expansionist policies? Not the first time that they have renamed Indian sovereign territories in Arunachal Pradesh.
See, more worrying has been that, firstly, thank you for having me on your show. Jai Hind to all your viewers. The more worrying part is that Chinese have developed about 600 plus, 628 or some figures say, Zeokang villages, border villages, which are especially in strategically important areas like Doklam and Yangtze and all these areas. They are developing these border villages in keeping with their expansionist kind of designs. So we have to react. That's very necessary. Government has taken up this Vibrant Village program, which is a very laudable program. And Kibutu's got great significance. Kibutu is a place where we've had a major action in 1962. There is Walong, which is about 20 kilometers away, which is Airhead, and it is in Lohit Valley. And you know, historically, Kibutu was a prosperous village at one time. We used to supply rice from here to Rima across on the Chinese side, what they are now pretending to call as Southern Arunachal. They in this renaming game. So my great appreciation for our government. 663 villages have been identified in 4 states and 1 union territory. We have an outlay of 4,800 crores, out of which 2,500 crores will go towards road development. And I have operated in Sikkim and border villages of Himachal. There are ghost villages with nobody staying there. People come down for education and all. And you know, there are villages, it'll interest you. There is a village which is in Sikkim, which is given highest number of air hostesses at one time. Very beautiful, very pleasing girls, all becoming air hostesses. But then it has become a ghost village because they all go away to Gangtok, Darjeeling, Kalimpong to study. So government is taking a great initiative. I salute this initiative and I hope it is implemented with all sincerity. When I was Western Army Commander, one village head in Himachal asked me, Sir, we are not getting any bridge to our village. And Chinese are doing so much of development. Do we have to invite Chinese to make this bridge?
No, absolutely.
So
and this entire development narrative is something that the Chinese have been using for the kind of expansionist policies that they've pursued in different border areas, not just with India but with other neighbors as well. Sujata Paul of the Congress Party is also with us on the broadcast. Sujata ji, how do you see the move of the government? Experts point out that this is a bold stand that India has taken, a position which asserts our sovereignty in Arunachal Pradesh, and also the kind of symbolic gesture that needed to be put in place to tell the Chinese and to communicate the right message.
I'm amazed that we have to say that this is a bold step because Arunachal Pradesh was, is and will remain an integral part of the country. As far as this situation which has arisen today is concerned, we stand with our government. But does our government really stand with this issue? With the issue of Arunachal Pradesh, or is it going to set a narrative that yes, we have taken a bold step with this Vibrant Villages, program. That is not what is required. What is required is a tough stand and bold words to tell the Chinese that you please stay out of it. How is it that it is in April 2017, then December 2021 and April 2023 that they came up with this list of changing names? Of course, our government will not understand it because they think that changing names within the country of roads and of cities is helping them. Now, when Chinese are renaming our cities and various locations like mountains, rivers, what is our government doing? Just going and saying that we're taking a bold step? No, we have always had Arunachal Pradesh as part of our country, and now it is time to show the la that the Prime Minister had been talking about. It is the Chinese which is transgressing its our territories again and again. If you remember what happened in 2020, where 20 of our brave hearts had to give up their lives to save our territory, but our Prime Minister said na koi ghusa hai, na koi ghusa hua hai. Then after that, these 100 soldiers of Chinese came into another area of Uttarakhand. Forget what happened in Galwan, because the government doesn't seem to understand that Arunachal Pradesh is a place where their own MP has been raising this issue. Where they have,
the criticism that has come in from the Congress party over the kind of policy the present government has pursued vis-a-vis Chinese transgressions, should that be separated from the narrative around the development and creation of infrastructure in the Northeast region? One of the key criticism of the Congress party and the earlier governments has been that the manner in which the Chinese developed infrastructure in the Northeastern region along the borders, along the LAC, India did not match up to that. And it's only in the last 10 years that the pace of the work has been picked up. Sujata ji, did the Congress party create the adequate infrastructure along the LAC?
Yes, of course. As far as the infrastructure development is concerned, we should remember that infrastructure development takes place in these regions. Like I just heard bits of what the army officer was saying, and what he mentioned was that there are ghost villages. You know, why are these ghost villages happening? These villages are supposed to be, people here are actually the natural patrolling agencies, so to speak. Because when they stay in these villages, they are manning and making sure that any kind of transgression is reported before it actually happens. So when you talk about all this development, what is the government talking about now? If in the last 8-9 years, they have not managed to keep our borders safe, the responsibility is theirs. And if the whole township has been developed, only after 2020 and 2021, we are seeing these develop at this rate on the Chinese side. What is our government doing? If you remember, the Char Dham route that they were talking about.
I remember that the thrust of the Northeast infrastructure projects was given during the second tenure of Dr. Manmohan Singh. There were special allocations that were made during that time, and in fact, those allocations have increased during the Prime Ministership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So even if you go to the numbers and you look at the sort of money that has been given for infrastructure development in Northeast, it has only increased. Mr. PKD Nambiar, I'm coming to you, taking in a word from you. The presence of Home Minister in Arunachal Pradesh comes at a very critical and at an important time. The messaging was the need of the hour.
Absolutely. Anusha, you have to see this in a different perspective rather than just going to the typical political tutu meme.
Sure.
First and foremost is that it is India of today is not of a 1962. Neither the leadership of today is of not a 1962. Today is India is a very, very courageous and a very strong India, both economically and also from the point of view for defensive. And if we have a leadership which can take a very, very strong stand wherever it requires. I think today's visit of the Home Minister says it all in terms of that we mean business. Don't mess with us. Arunachal Pradesh is not an integral part of our country, and this belongs to us. And rather than just making this as I think this should be treated like the Home Ministry visiting one of our own state, just like the way he had been to many other states, rather than making it that as if that he had gone to a Chinese village. No. So I think the bottom line is that the kind of strong message what we have been given, whether at the military level or on from the point of view of, as you said, the infrastructure development. And I think Sujata ji should be really going back and looking at the situation in the last 50 years. What is the kind of an infrastructure development with related to border have been done, or to the connectivity to the border, not only the border infrastructure, or to the connectivity to the border.
Yeah.
So this government has definitely done much more than what the 50 years of development has been done. Let's appreciate that this government also belongs to all of us.
But
Keep the
PK
political
Nambiar,
difference
what do
little
you say? There was another point that Sujata Paul raised, and that was about the repeated transgressions that we have seen from the Chinese side. And this is in some way seen as the failure on part of the government to pursue a successful, strong diplomatic, policy or foreign policy with the Chinese. Do you agree with that argument?
Absolutely no.
Yeah.
On the other side, on the other way, if you really look at from the point of view of India's dominance in the global arena has become, in the last 10 years, has really gone in manifold. So of course, the China now feels that it was the big boy of the Asia, or considered themselves as the #2 player and wanted to become the #1 player in the global arena. But here is another country, which is a neighboring state, which is one is commanding respect. China do not command the respect on the global arena. We all know that they have the manufacturing muscle power or the expansionist policy. So they feel that, okay, India, if coming up, the India's rise is not in the interest of China. But that has really been handled by this government, both diplomatically and also showing the military power wherever it was required. Just imagine when we were talking about...
I want to give last 4 minutes to Sujata Paul and Lieutenant General KJ Singh, who are with us on the broadcast. So, Sujata ji, you wanted to make a rebuttal. First to you.
Yes. You know, the bilateral agreements of 1993 and 1996 is what both the countries have to follow. But how is it that it's only after 2014 that China refuses to, to follow the agreements? It is taking unilateral decisions. Now, the first most important thing that should have been done is anti-April 2020 status quo should have been emphasized upon when they transgressed into Galwan Valley. But no, there we kept quiet. And what are you talking about? Commanding respect and demanding respect. Here, if you want to command respect, you have to show the country, show the world that we are not going to take things lightly. And all the villages which have developed, in spite of all the big claims that you're making about spending the money, is the Chinese side developing townships. What are we talking about here? We should be talking about making sure that our borders are safe and the Chinese are not allowed to kind of transgress.
My short question to you before I go to the Lieutenant General to take in his final word. Sujata ji, isn't that a point of reflection for the Congress party as well? In the northeast of the country, it's a well-known fact that the infrastructure was not created by the earlier governments because of whatever reasons. And the pace has picked up only in the last 8 to 10 years. That's a stated fact. And that is the reason why the Chinese have been able to perpetuate this entire narrative that we are the ones bringing in development in town. Exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
No, Miss Soni, is that Miss Soni? Yes. So, the point here is that when you're talking about all the infrastructure development which is taking place, of course, there was infrastructure development taking place earlier. Do you remember that Nagaland became part of the country only in 1962, not before that? How did that happen? Because the Congress government, and especially Pandit Nehru, he made sure that it became part of our country. But yes, Mr. Nambiar is absolutely correct. Whatever is happening is after 2014, and that is why they don't want to believe in the 1993 and 1996 agreement. That is why Chinese are doing what they are doing.
I want to give the last 1 minute to Lieutenant General KJ Singh. Sir, I want to understand from you two facets. One is the kind of politics domestically we witness on national security issue. We've spoken about this earlier, and I believe that the opposition has all the right to criticize the government and put them in check. But when it comes to national security, is there a need to introspect on the domestic political discourse that comes out from this country?
See, we gain nothing because what happens? We are bickering unnecessarily. It'll be a good idea if the state units of those parties sit down, put up some constructive suggestions. There is so much to be done in those villages. I would be very happy if these parties take ownership of these villages. They have, we have so many schools which sends excursions outside to various places. People even go to Dubai from schools and foreign countries. Why can't they take them to these border villages? Why can't these parties take responsibility? They may not get you vote, but they'll get you connected to these areas. So I would recommend to all the parties, you have such volunteer bases, take ownership. A constructive suggestion I'm giving you. You have school holidays coming up. Take children to these border villages. Do activities over there. Take ownership. Do video conferencing with them. I am doing some projects like this in Chandigarh. I take lectures.
Sir, minus the political bravado. I mean, the reason I'm asking you this question is because you're somebody who has actually guarded our borders on the ground. Minus the political bravado, what is the significant departure that you see post 2014 to now when it comes to the security around the line of actual control? Is there any credence or substance to the arguments that the opposition parties have been making that perhaps on this front with the Chinese, India has not been successful? How do you view these arguments?
No, see, Chinese problem resolution will take long time. We have responded well. We have forces in place. Chinese also are paying huge big costs. They are maintaining forces over there. Earlier they were behaving like they used to come visiting type of thing. Now they are keeping forces. They are to build up logistics. So we have rebalanced our forces. We have moved forces from western frontier to across the northern frontier. So all in all, we are in a resolute situation. It's not an easy solution to the problem. There is a perpetual discussion between the gun and the butter, you know, where you want to get.
I want to conclude by saying that the entire world is struggling right now to negotiate with the Chinese as they try to exert their global dominance and challenge the world order. Of course, along the line of actual control, India continues to maintain that Arunachal Pradesh is a sovereign territory and the Chinese provocation and substance mean nothing. We'll continue tracking this and much more on the other side of a very short break. Stay tuned.
Do you remember the events that defined us in the last 50 weeks?
Wow, 50 weeks. We saw power shifts.
There were triumphs. We weathered storms.
The very earth shook right under our feet.
We saw new worlds.
And the birth of a new intelligence. But we never let our
eye waver.
We brought you the news that mattered.
Your trust has made us
India's #1 news channel
for 50
straight weeks.
And we're only getting started.
CNN News 18.
Sensible.
Credible. Always.
Because we want Nandini also to export to other states and we want to help the national economy. At the same time, we do want Nandini to prevail.
Well, yes, Shashi Tharoor did say that even Nandini has to be exported to other states, just like just the similar way even Amul is being the announcement that has been actually made by the Amul that it will be entering Bengaluru, that is seen as a soft stance. But here in Karnataka, the Karnataka Congress, Siddaramaiah or DK Shivakumar have taken a strong stance because it is also a poll-bound state, and here we are heading into elections just a month away, and the farmers form a crucial vote bank here in Karnataka. So from Congress point of view, they're taking a strong stance on this issue. They are even trying to reap a good political benefit out of it. But on the other hand, they are also voicing concerns of the farmers, stating that there has been a dip in the production of milk. So that's what Siddaramaiah had to say. He pointed out that fact, and he also clearly gave out an indication that there is no need for Amul to enter Karnataka. And he also went out to say that the Nandini milk products are fast disappearing in this particular state of Karnataka, and we have our own sector, we have our own brand, so only that brand must be used, keeping the aspects of the farmers, concerns of the farmers in mind. And at the very same time, the BJP has took its stance, stating that there will be no competition. It's just an announcement, just like many other brands. Even Amul is entering Karnataka, and this is all being raked up as Karnataka is heading into elections. So that's what the political row that has been being carried out here in Karnataka.
Shifting focus to Karnataka, where a political war over Amul's entry to the state refuses to die down. Now, in a big setback to Amul, the Bruhat Bengaluru hotels announced that it will only use Nandini milk to support the state farmers. This comes after a political face-off erupted between the ruling BJP and the opposition Congress and JDS over the threat to Karnataka Milk Federation's famed dairy brand Nandini. Former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah took to Twitter to accuse Prime Minister Modi attempting to hurt the prospects of the farmers by allegedly giving KMF to Amul. Meanwhile, BJP retorted, stating that the entry of Amul into Karnataka will not affect the prospects of KMF. Chief Minister Bommai further alleged that the opposition parties are politicizing this issue.
Karnataka has seen under the BJP the loss of multiple local brands. The State Bank of Mysore doesn't exist anymore. Vijaya Bank, Syndicate Bank, all of these have been merged with Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank. All sorts of things are happening. Mr. Amit Shah has taken over as Minister for Cooperation, and in the process he is busy taking over and manipulating the cooperative sector, and we are very worried that Nandini and the KMF organization is under threat. Well, every one of us in Karnataka, in the Karnataka Congress, while we respect competition and markets, we will do our utmost to ensure that Nandini continues to prevail, continues to dominate.
How do you look at the fact that we have Kumaraswamy saying that you should fight against the fact that Amul has entered into Karnataka? The Congress also saying that we should fight against it and there should not be a Gujarat model brought here.
Amul is operating in Karnataka from almost a decade. It's not that there is a conspiracy that is being hatched today to bring Amul for the first time in Karnataka. There are 8 or 10 different multiple brands, milk brands that are available in Karnataka that are already trying to compete with Nandini in Karnataka. People of Karnataka very clearly know that this is not love towards Nandini, but it is hatred towards Amul because Amul is from Gujarat and the Prime Minister and Amit Shah ji are from Gujarat. I want to request the Congress party and Mr. Siddaramaiah, who is leading this campaign, to answer this question. When he was the Chief Minister, what was the turnover of the KMF, the Karnataka Milk Federation, the entity that owns Nandini brand? What is the turnover and the profit of the KMF today?
We all want to protect the Nandini brand, which has been built up with such care. But I think a biomedia has to be found. And certainly one of the good things we should have is Nandini should also be exported to more states. If we start getting too protectionist, we may not be helping. Our national economy. But at the same time, I understand the concerns of those who are working in Karnataka, who are, after all, contributing to the success and quality of the Nandini brand. And we have to take their needs into account as well.
Now we have some more inputs coming in on this story. In order to support states farmers by opposing Amul products, KPCC President DK Shivkumar visited Nandini Milk Parlour in Hassan district to purchase Nandini products. DK Shivkumar was also seen drinking Nandini butter milk. So fresh development in the Amul row in the state of Karnataka. Now, in order to support states farmers by opposing Amul products, KPCC Chief DK Shivkumar visited Nandini Milk Parlour in Hassan district to purchase Nandini products, and DK Shivkumar was also seen drinking Nandini butter milk. So fresh development in the Amul versus Nandini row in the state of Karnataka. KPCC Chief DK Shivkumar visited Nandini Milk Parlour in Hassan district to purchase Nandini products to support state's farmers, and DK Shivkumar was also seen drinking Nandini butter milk. So fresh controversy has erupted in the state of Karnataka, which is set to go for polls the next month, and this fresh controversy is between Amul and Nandini milk brand. CNN News 18's Akshara is joining us on this story. Akshara, how do you see this development? KPCC chief visiting the Nandini Milk Parlour and drinking buttermilk over there. What message does this send out?
Well, you see, right from when the whole controversy erupted and even Amul made the announcement that it will be entering Bengaluru providing its milk products, the Congress has critically opposed it, stating that it is a threat to the KMF here, Karnataka Milk Federation, and it raised important questions when there is already a cooperative sector here and you have a
Welcome back. And amid continuous attacks on Prime Minister Narendra Modi over his educational qualification by some opposition leaders, you have NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, who on Sunday has asked why the educational degrees of individuals are being used as political issues in the country. Mr. Pawar said that there are other burning political matters such as unemployment, inflation, law and order that needs to be addressed politically rather than anyone's educational qualifications. On the 30th of March, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal asked why the BJP was afraid to show Prime Minister's educational qualification in court after a Gujarat High Court fined him Rs 25,000 for an RTI plea on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's degrees. Former Maharashtra Chief Minister Mr. Thackeray had previously called out the college where Prime Minister had studied in. Supporting Mr. Pawar's comments, BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla has asked the opposition to listen to their own allies. Listen into the word coming in from different sides.
आणि त्याचे उत्तर या राज्य सरकार आणि केंद्र सरकार अर्धा केलंच पाहिजे. आज धर्म जात या नावाने माणसामध्ये अंतर्निर्माण क्षेत्रात महाराष्ट्रामध्ये सगळीकडे या अतिवृष्टीचं नुकसान झालं. नाशिक जिल्ह्यात द्राक्षाचं नुकसान झालं, कांद्याचं नुकसान झालं. आता या सगळ्या प्रश्नांना होत आहे का आम्ही सगळ्यांनी उठून आळस देणार.
This entire degree issue was created as a rouse to hide from the corruption degrees of Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal. Sharad Pawarji has clearly taken a stand. Unfortunately, instead of heeding sane advice, we see Congress leaders come out, abuse him, insult him, call him lalchi and kaya. This is most unacceptable. I hope after his latest advice on the PM degree issue, there will not be again a series of Congress leaders, Uddhav Sena leaders, Aam Aadmi Party leaders who will come out and abuse him. But instead, they will try to understand what he's trying to say. This is not a Mahavikas Aghadi, it is a Mahavichitra Aghadi, where there are a series of contradictions and those contradictions keep playing out time in and time out again.
अगर मुझसे कोई आकर पूछेगा तो मैं बोल दूंगा, दे दूंगा आपको मेरा सर्टिफिकेट. अभी बता दूं आपको लाके लेके मैं तो 12 लाख की डिग्री लेके मैं तो ऑफिस में लगा के रखा हूँ उसको, आप देख लीजिए.
Well, carrying across to our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who's getting us all the perspective on this important story. Pallavi, clearly on this particular issue, the likes of Sharad Pawar and their political expertise believes that this is not a matter that can resonate with the people, and rather it's likely to be an advantage BJP, because even earlier any kind of personal attacks on the Prime Minister is not something that has worked for the opposition's discourse. Interestingly, Mr. Sharad Pawar goes on to say that there are other important issues in the country that the opposition should be focusing upon rather than talking about the educational degrees of the Prime Minister himself. That's a different tone that he has adopted from the likes of the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress. Pallavi with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, Sharad Pawar has an advice for the opposition camp. Don't focus on educational qualification. This is not the issue that will help the opposition.
Well, that's a similar advice, frankly speaking, he and both Mamata Banerjee gave after 2019 Lok Sabha elections, when a stock taking was taking place as to why is it that the Modi government came back to power once again. Yeah. The point which I think Mr. Pawar, and this is something which finds echo with many other opposition parties, is that there are people's issues which really should be taken up aggressively, like whether it's unemployment, rising prices. The Adani issue, the Rafale issue earlier is something which not many people on the ground even understand, and it does not even resonate. You know, this is something which is so central to Rahul Gandhi's political strategy. I don't think it's going to be easy for the Congress party to give this one up. So you're going to be seeing the Congress party still pushing ahead. Of course, there's criticism coming in from many within the Congress party of Mr. Pawar, without taking his name, that clearly there are people who want to negotiate or be in the good books of the BJP.
All right, Pallavi, thank you so much for putting all of that into perspective. In the run-up to the 2024, we are likely to see more of these attacks and much more coming in. Mr. PKD Nambiar, who's a political analyst, is joining us on the broadcast. We'll also have somebody from the Congress party speak to us in just a few minutes from now. Mr. Nambiar, personal attacks on the Prime Minister have not worked. Political veteran and leader Mr. Sharad Pawar has been advised, don't focus on this issue. Talk about unemployment, talk about inflation. There are many other issues that concern the people. But as my colleague Pallavi was pointing out, the Congress party is likely to be belligerent on this issue.
Well, Anusha, this is the saddest part, that the opposition parties, rather than taking up the real issues of the people which we expect them to do, they are just going for a personal attack on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But we have seen from 2013 or 2012 onwards, whenever there's such kind of an attack had been happened, whether it is a chaiwala, whether it is a mouth ka saudagar, any kind of an attack on Prime Minister Modi, and a master communicator and a super solid strategist, he will turn that around in his favor. So on the one side, a divided opposition, wherein we have been talking about from the last 3-4 years, after the 2019 onwards, the opposition unity, everybody want to have to come together. But what we see is that even in the case of an Adani issue, we have seen TMC taking a strong stand that they don't want a JPC. Now Sharad Pawar, of course, the Chanakya of Indian politics, is saying that we don't want any JPC. Get back to the reality of the people issue. So the biggest challenge today what we are facing is that on the one side, a very mighty BJP and the Narendra Modi is going on one side, but the opposition is such a divided class wherein they don't even know what to do next. So
No,
what they do is...
And you know, I think it's utopian to expect opposition to be on the same page on every issue. That's not happening. That has not happened in the last 6 to 7 years. It's unlikely to happen in the run-up to 2024 as well. But when it comes to educational qualifications of the Prime Minister, and I'm thinking aloud with you, this is the Prime Minister who has resonated with the people of India for being the Pradhan Sevak or being somebody who comes from very humble beginnings and the background. And even if one were to think it politically, I am sure the veterans within the Congress party are also aware that perhaps this is not one issue that is likely to resonate with people. If attack on the Prime Minister is something that the opposition is gunning for.
In fact, on a lighter side, imagine the world's top tech companies have been run by undergraduates or the people, the school dropouts or the college dropouts, whether it is a Facebook, whether it is of almost all Microsoft or all those large companies which we use. Without the softwares which they have created, we may not be able to run our life these days. So I think the bottom line is that making a known issue an issue and attacking somebody without having any base to it. I mean, and this is, and the most important part, Anusha, in this case is that the Ahmedabad High Court has already stepped aside and given a fine to Arvind Kejriwal. But then they still wanted to make some kind of a mockery, and they feel that going below the belt in 2023 kind of a politics is not accepted to the people of India. They all wanted to see the development, as Pawar Saab said very clearly. Talk about inflation. Inflation is a reality. I think if the opposition parties, we expect them to come up with some kind of a measurement. If they come back to the power in the elections are only just a year ago, year is left. Why don't they come up with a vision document? Yes, if they're being given a power, then what will they do? We also understand, as you said, that they don't have to...
I want two facets to Indian politics. One is, of course, this is not the first time, and even in the past as well, we have had tall political figures in this country who have risen from humble beginnings, humble backgrounds, and made their name and mark in Indian polity through their grit, hard work and determination and the work that they have done for people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his entire image in the last 7 to 8 years, the work that his government has done, is something on which the perception right now stands at. If the opposition wants to have any kind of shot at a real chance in 2024, that's the image that they're attacking. Corruption scandal, the look out for a perfect corruption scandal is something that the opposition has failed to get so far.
And it's not only once, multiple times. You have seen that whether it is a Rafael, now the Adani, all these issues, what they have taken up is not seen the real light or without even having a proper fact. So I always say that in the politics of today also take place in the marketplace. In the marketplace, there are multiple players, whether it is a government or in the opposition, and all these opposition parties also have got their own regional compulsions, and so their stand will never be going to be united. And what we are missing today is a strong national opposition party, which the Congress is not being able to take up that seat. And I don't think that in 2024 it is going to happen too. So broadly, I think the 2024, the Rasta to the 2024 is much more clear, or getting clear by day. Narendra Modi is emerging as even more popular, and the opposition is getting divided day by day. So I think the time has come for all of these people to talk to on facts rather than attacking on Narendra Modi at his personal
Mr.
level.
Nabi, one of the things that the opposition parties have been saying is that what's wrong if we are asking questions on the educational qualifications, and if there are any confusions or if there is any vagueness in his educational qualifications, the government should come forward and clarify on it.
So this has been clearly been discussed multiple times. You remember during the 2019, this was an issue. They took this up, and then it was settled then and there. And they went to the court, and which the High Court of Ahmedabad has already taken a verdict on it. And in fact, he fined the petitioner, that is Arvind Kejriwal. I think that should have been settled then and there. But rather than making this again another story and taking this up on a larger perspective, the degree dikhao. Today, I realized that almost 90% of the Aam Aadmi Party MLAs in Delhi, they are neither graduates or not even the 12th pass. Does that really make a difference that you are a graduate, that you become a perfect?
Okay, let's ask this question to Raju Agmare, the Congress spokesperson. He is finally with us on the broadcast. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Is there any relevance to the educational qualifications of the Prime Minister in today's day and age, in today's politics, keeping in mind that this is a leader which already has the mandate of the people? Even the Chanakya in the opposition camp, Mr. Sharad Pawar, the veteran political leader, thinks, well, this is not the issue that the opposition should be raising. You have far better and important issues to raise as the opposition party. Mr. Wagmare.
See, the Prime Minister's degree issue will not be arise unless and until the Prime Minister itself, he talks different things about his own degree and education. When Prime Minister caliber leader, he talks about that he got a degree, he went to a college, he came to the public media, and he talks about his education, then definitely some people is going to ask, where is that degree? So with Mr. Modi, right from the beginning, right from he put himself that he is a chai wala, there is nobody there that who can say that he drinks chai from Mr. Modi. When he talks about his degree, nobody is there to tell us as a public that they was with him in his class. So when Prime Minister itself make these allegations against himself, and he gave the statement, so that's why it is relevant.
Mr. Wagmare, then what do you make of a court finding Mr. Arvind Kejriwal for raising these questions?
What is that?
There's a court in Gujarat that has fined Arvind Kejriwal. There were certain questions that were even earlier raised on the degree of the Prime Minister, and none of the courts so far have entertained these kind of arguments or petitions.
See, absolutely, if court is taking Mr. Arvind Kejriwal in court, that is absolutely wrong. Because if somebody like today, I am putting in front of my name that I am a doctor, that anybody has a right to ask me where is my degree and where I passed from. So it is a simple thing. As a politician, you don't require a degree. But when the politician make a statement about himself that he is passed out from such and such college, the Home Minister is showing the Prime Minister's degree in his hand, they are talking about which subject he graduated, then definitely the people of this country in democratic, they have the right to ask by which college and where is his degree
for the sake of the argument, let's believe what the Congress party is saying is right? There are questions about the degree of the Prime Minister, and it's a debate that should be settled conclusively. How do you prove it from the hearsay whataboutery? Is that you take this matter to a court of law. None of the courts in this country have entertained this petition so far, so at best it remains an allegation which is made by the opposition party. That being the position, you understand politics very well. Hasn't it backfired on the opposition each time there is a personal attack that has been made on the Prime Minister?
No, it is not backfiring. In fact, in another way, the people of this country came to understand now the courts in certain areas and certain state, they are working against the people and they are working towards the government of BJP. They are going against the constitution. If I wanted to go and talk about the
Anusha, this
degree
is a very
about
serious statement. Very, very serious statement
yeah,
against
of
the
course.
court.
I am a lawyer myself, and I feel that if you take a average and if you take the different kind of judgment from the court in India, the certain courts has given a judgment which is haywire in this country. And how this is happening, why this is happening, and all the judgment is towards
Well, sir, you as the
are
opposition
supporting
party
the
and a
BJP.
politician have a right to raise this issue as long as you are within
Absolutely.
the purview of
Yes.
law. But this question has not been conclusively settled, and most political pundits, including your friends like Mr. Sharad Pawar, have an advice for you that this is not a matter that's going to resonate in the run-up to 2024.
I understand that this is not matter to raise it, whatever Mr. Sharad Pawar says.
Yeah.
But when Mr. Prime Minister Modi says that I am a degree holder, then I have a right to ask him that which
Well, sir,
degree.
I really hope as a journalist that this matter goes beyond political whataboutery and hearsay, and we have a conclusive answer to this, but that's unlikely to happen. I thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Mr. PKD Nambiar and Mr. Wagmare, thank you for joining us on the show. We'll continue tracking this and much more on the other side of a quick break. Stay tuned.
Drinking buttermilk over there. What message does this send out?
Well, you see, right from when the whole controversy erupted and even Amul made the announcement that it will be entering Bengaluru providing its milk products, the Congress has critically opposed it, stating that it is a threat to the KMF here, Karnataka Milk Federation, and it raised important questions when there is already a cooperative sector here and you have its brand Nandini when it's providing milk products to this particular cooperative sector and its own milk products. It does have it, and then why there is a need for Amul, different brand from Gujarat, to come and supply products here? That's the important questions that have been raised by the Congress. And standing in solidarity with the farmers, KPCC Chief DK Shivkumar also went out to a parlor and bought Nandini milk products, and he was seen drinking the Nandini milk products and giving out a strong message that we stand with the farmers. So that's what the stand of the Congress has been. But on the other side, BJP is stating that there is no such competition as such which the Amul will provide to Nandini. Nandini has its own brand, and it has its own level here in the state, and there will be no competition as such. It will only Amul will provide milk products as done by many other products here in Karnataka. So that's what the BJP here is stating. It is also stating that Congress is carrying out a misinformation campaign, and there is no such issue as merger of Amul or Nandini. But once again, Siddaramaiah and the Congress hit back at BJP, stating that this will destroy the cooperative sector here in Karnataka and will hurt the farmers of Karnataka. So that's what the Congress had to say.
Good morning, Aksha. This is Shilpa. Also, casting light on the statement coming in from Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, it indicates a softening of a stance, because he says we shouldn't be too protectionist about Nandini, because we want Nandini also to export to other states and we want to help the national economy. At the same time, we do want Nandini to prevail.
Well, yes, Shashi Tharoor did say that even Nandini has to be exported to other states, just like just the similar way even Amul is being the announcement that has been actually made by the Amul that it will be entering Bengaluru, that is seen as a soft stance. But here in Karnataka, the Karnataka Congress, Siddaramaiah or DK Shivkumar have taken a strong stance, because it is also a poll-bound state, and here we are heading into elections just a month away, and the farmers form a crucial vote bank here in Karnataka. So from Congress point of view, they're taking a strong stance on this issue. They are even trying to reap a good political benefit out of it. But on the other hand, they are also voicing concerns of the farmers, stating that there has been a dip in the production of milk. So that's what Siddaramaiah had to say. He pointed out that fact, and he also clearly gave out an indication that there is no need for Amul to enter Karnataka, and he also went out to say that the Nandini milk products are fast disappearing in this particular state of Karnataka, and we have our own sector, we have our own brand, so only that brand must be used, keeping the aspects of the farmers, concerns of the farmers in mind. And at the very same time, the BJP has took its stance, stating that there will be no competition. It's just an announcement, just like many other brands. Even Amul is entering Karnataka, and this is all being raked up as Karnataka is heading into elections. So that's what the political row that has been being carried out here in Karnataka.
Shifting focus to Karnataka, where a political war over Amul's entry to the state refuses to die down. Now, in a big setback to Amul, the Bruhat Bengaluru hotels announced that it will only use Nandini milk to support the state farmers. This comes after a political face-off erupted between the ruling BJP and the opposition Congress and JDS over the threat to Karnataka Milk Federation's famed dairy brand Nandini. Former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah took to Twitter to accuse Prime Minister Modi attempting to hurt the prospects of the farmers by allegedly giving KMF to Amul. Meanwhile, BJP retorted, stating that the entry of Amul into Karnataka will not affect the prospects of KMF. Chief Minister Bommai further alleged that the opposition parties are politicizing this issue.
Karnataka has seen under the BJP the loss of multiple local brands. The State Bank of Mysore doesn't exist anymore. Vijaya Bank, Syndicate Bank, all of these have been merged with Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank. All sorts of things are happening. Mr. Amit Shah has taken over as Minister for Cooperation, and in the process he is busy taking over and manipulating the cooperative sector, and we are very worried that Nandini and the KMF organization is under threat. Well, every one of us in Karnataka, in the Karnataka Congress, while we respect competition in markets, we will do our utmost to ensure that Nandini continues to prevail, continues to dominate.
How do you look at the fact that we have Kumaraswamy saying that you should fight against the fact that Amul has entered into Karnataka? The Congress also saying that we should fight against it and there should not be a Gujarat model brought here.
Amul is operating in Karnataka from almost a decade. It's not that there is a conspiracy that is being hatched today to bring Amul for the first time in Karnataka. There are 8 or 10 different multiple brands, milk brands that are available in Karnataka that are already trying to compete with Nandini in Karnataka. People of Karnataka very clearly know that this is not love towards Nandini, but it is hatred towards Amul because Amul is from Gujarat and the Prime Minister and Amit Shah ji are from Gujarat. I want to request the Congress party and Mr. Siddaramaiah, who is leading this campaign, to answer this question. When he was the Chief Minister, what was the
Welcome back, and it was raining sixes in the IPL match between Kolkata Knight Riders and Gujarat Titans in Ahmedabad yesterday. KKR's Rinku Singh hit the odds out of the park with 5 straight sixes and led the team to the last ball victory. My colleague Shivani Gupta, in an exclusive chat with the cricketer, decodes the magical inning by him and what it took from him to deliver that. Listen.
रिंकू, पहली बात तो बहुत बहुत कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस आपको, आपने जो इनिंग्स खेली है हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद। इस तरह की इनिंग्स लाइफ चेंजिंग इनिंग्स होती है, करियर चेंजिंग इनिंग्स होती है। तो सबसे पहले तो मुझे ये बताइए, थोड़ा टाइम अब हो गया है आपकी इनिंग्स को, तो क्या आपका क्या व्यू है आपकी इनिंग्स पे?
नहीं, काफी स्पेशल इनिंग है क्योंकि बहुत बेस्ट इनिंग है मेरी लाइफ की। तो काफी अच्छा लगा था इनिंग खेल के। काफी लोग खुश है मेरी इनिंग से, और बहुत इंडिया में ऑलमोस्ट सबको ही पता चल गई है मेरे बारे में। तो काफी अच्छा लग रहा है अंदर से
जी। तो ये जो बिलीव था कि आप लास्ट 5 बॉलों पे 25 रन बना सकते हैं, ये बिलीव कहाँ से आया? क्योंकि हो सकता है टेक्निकली, लेकिन बहुत लोग सोचते नहीं है कि ऐसा होता है, और ऑफन होता भी नहीं है।
हाँ, बहुत से लोग बहुत टफ था मैच, वो छोड़ दी होगी लोगों ने, नहीं जीत सकते मैं। क्योंकि मैं ऐसी नहीं, मैंने काफी खेली हुई है, तो मेरे अंदर एक बिलीफ था कि मैं कर सकता हूँ सारी चीजें। और जो मेरा नंबर है, मैं जिस नंबर पे खेलता हूँ, तो मैं काफी कॉन्फिडेंस हूँ उस नंबर पे अपने।
जी। तो आपके, जैसे आपने बोला, आपकी इनिंग्स के बाद पूरा देश बात कर रहा है, पूरा जो जहां भी क्रिकेट लोग जानते हैं, खेलते हैं, पूरा विश्व बात कर रहा है। आपके टीममेट्स का जो रिएक्शन था हमने देखा। आपके जो कोच है चंद्रकांत पंडित जी, उन्होंने आपकी इनिंग्स को रवि शास्त्री के 6 छक्कों से या जावेद मियांदाद के लास्ट बॉल 6 से कंपेयर किया है, तो वो कैसा लग रहा है?
ये काफी मतलब बहुत अच्छा लग रहा था, काफी अच्छी फीलिंग थी, क्योंकि सर ड्रेसिंग रूम में बात कर रहे थे, तो मतलब वहाँ मतलब तुलना करना एक बड़ी बात है, मतलब मेरे लिए तो बहुत बड़ी बात है। तो काफी अच्छा फील हो रहा था कल सर ने जो मेरे लिए बोला था।
और टीम ओनर्स वेंकी माइसोर और शाहरुख खान से भी आपकी बात हुई, उन्होंने क्या बोला?
नहीं नहीं, सर से हुई थी, शाहरुख सर से बात हुई थी वीडियो कॉल पे। मतलब मैं इतनी बात कर नहीं पाया सर के साथ, क्योंकि मुझे शर्म आ रही थी सर के साथ बात करने में, तो थोड़ी बहुत बात हुई थी, तो कांग्रेस बोल रहे थे, और इतनी ज्यादा कुछ नहीं हुई।
जी जी। मेरी आपकी माताजी से बात हो रही थी रिंकू, उन्होंने बताया कि आप बचपन से ही बहुत मेहनती रहे हो, तो कुछ बताइए अपना राज।
नहीं नहीं, मैम शुरू से ही ये मतलब शुरू से क्रिकेट बहुत पसंद था, मतलब मेरे घर वालों को, मतलब मेरी मम्मी को तो पसंद था, मगर पापा को पसंद नहीं था, पापा मना करते थे खेलने के लिए, तो मम्मी ने
जी
शुरू में सपोर्ट किया था। मतलब जहाँ भी जाना होता था लोगों से, मतलब पैसे मांगते तो मुझे देती थी, तो जब जा पाता था खेलने मैच।
Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Former Congress leaders have launched an all-out attack against Rahul Gandhi. Recently, Rahul tweeted a picture making Adani name and logo with the names of these ex-Congress leaders who have either joined the BJP since or have extended support to the BJP. The names mentioned in the tweets were the likes of Ghulam, Nabi, Azad, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Hemant Biswa Sarma, Kiran Reddy and Anil Antony. These leaders later slammed Rahul Gandhi for alleging their connection with businessman Gautam Adani. Meanwhile, former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Azad, who was associated with the Congress party for almost 5 decades, has gone on to allege that Rahul Gandhi himself meets, quote, undesirable businessmen during his foreign trips. The battle over Adani is clearly becoming bitter by the day. Meanwhile, chinks in opposition's armour are also clearly visible. After Adani JPC probe demand, NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar has also distanced himself from Kejriwal's demands for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's degrees, as he believes someone's educational degree cannot be a political issue. It's just a year to go for 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Is the opposition completely divided over issues to raise and corner the government on? And is the Congress getting specifically sidelined by some of the regional satraps? We'll take those questions to our guest in just a bit. First up, take a look at this tweet of the former Congress President Rahul Gandhi, which has raked up a storm. So Rahul Gandhi attacking ex-Congress leaders who are either now in the BJP or supporting the BJP, associating their names, spelling out Adani, alleging the government is using these names to deflect from the Adani issue. He once again asked in the tweet exactly whose 20,000 crore rupees Benami money is in Adani companies. Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma, who had jumped the ship from the Congress in 2015, has threatened a defamation case against Rahul. He said that as of now, he is busy with the Prime Minister's visit to Guwahati and will file this case after April 14. Remember, the story of Hemant Biswa Sarma leaving the Congress party and his famous interaction with Rahul, where the latter allegedly was more interested in feeding biscuits to his dog, have become the poster stories of the problems that plague the Congress party and especially the decision-making style of Rahul himself. Meanwhile, the latest entrant into the BJP, Anil Antony, son of former defence minister, has also slammed Rahul Gandhi. He said that he was sad to see former president of the Congress, who's also their prime ministerial candidate, behave like a social media troll. He said in a tweet that leaders mentioned in the Adani tweet had to leave the party as they preferred to work for India and not for a family. Not only this, former Congress MP Ghulam Nabi Azad, as I mentioned, has made some shocking revelations on Rahul Gandhi. He has claimed that the entire Gandhi family is associated with several businessmen. He said that he doesn't want to speak against the family as he respects them. Otherwise, he would have given some examples of where exactly Rahul goes on his famous foreign trips. But he added that Rahul Gandhi meets, quote, undesirable businessmen outside India. This has certainly created problem for the Gandhi scion. The BJP is using this to launch another attack on Rahul, saying that they want to know about Rahul's trips abroad. They claim that Rahul has made anti-India statements in the past, so they want to know if Rahul Gandhi is working with any anti-India businessmen. They demanded more details about Rahul's meeting with these, quote, undesirable business people. Remember, BJP also often raises the MOU signed by the Congress party with the CCP of China in the past. So the big debate that's coming up, whether it's the Adani issue or the degree row, you've got the likes of Sharad Pawar disagreeing publicly. At the same time, the Adani row is continuing to raise more questions for the Congress and Rahul Gandhi himself. So is the opposition really divided when it comes to these two rows that are becoming vogue today?
Will respond that tweet, and definitely there will be a defamation case in government.
ये बात सच्चाई देश के सामने आनी चाहिए कि राहुल गांधी जी जब भी विदेश जाते हैं तो किस तरह के अनडिजायरेबल एलिमेंट से, बिजनेसमैन से, अवांछनीय बिजनेसमैन से वो मिलते हैं।
जो राहुल गांधी जी ने जो बोला है बिल्कुल सच बोला है। उनके खिलाफ में पहले जांच चल रही थी और सीबीआई की जांच थी। बीजेपी में जाते ही जांच ठप हो गई है।
Let's go across to the guests joining us. Guru Prakash Paswan from the BJP, Rakesh Shetty from the Congress Party joining us, Dr. Seema Malik from the NCP, Ratan Sharda, RSS researcher and author, Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, someone who tracks the Congress Party very closely with us as well. Let me go across to Rakesh ji first up. You look at whether it's the Savarkar insult, you look at the JPC probe, you look at the degree row. Although the Congress is not raising the degree row, but you've made, attempts to question the Prime Minister's background in the past. If we focus on the Adani row, it seems that every attack Rahul Gandhi mounts comes back to haunt him. For example, what is the need of a tweet like this, where you are linking your own former leaders with Adani? What's the link?
You want me to respond, right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
See, the biggest issue in this country right now is Adani, and Adani. Now we need to understand that when we take an oath for the post of Prime Minister or a Member of Parliament, you clearly take an oath that you are not going to give any favors to your friends, relatives or any donors of yours. What Bharatiya Janata Party and what Narendra Modi ji has done, they have violated all the rules. A simple example I would like to share with you. Airports were given to Adani. Now the Airport Authority of India clearly states that each corporate can have maximum of 2 airports. And this was a policy which was broken by the Narendra Modi government, and 6 airports, after that 10 airports were given to Adani Group. These rules were broken by Bharatiya Janata Party to favor their friend. Again, second point. Now, if you see, this airport were leased earlier to GBK, GMR for the lease period of 30 years. Even this was manipulated and the lease period was increased from 30 years to 50 years. Third point, if you see, just let me finish. When you are asking me a question, please let me finish.
But you need to answer my question. All of these issues about Adani, first of all, are not related to the Hindenburg report. These issues about airports are a previous issue. You only started raising this issue once the Hindenburg report came out.
Are you concerned about Rahul Gandhi or are you concerned about Adani?
No, I am discussing both. We have been discussing both. Both are equally in discussion. But Rakesh ji, once again, I don't want to speak over you. My question to you was that you've used the names of your former Congress leaders to attack Adani or attack the BJP. What sense does that make? Those issues are separate. They have nothing to do with the Adani issue. You've got Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma saying that I'll file defamation. So what's the need of linking people to this row when they have nothing to do with this, unless you're alleging that they do?
No, ma'am, tell me who is important. You want to name former Congress persons are important or this country is important?
But sir, Rahul Gandhi has used the names of Ghulam, Nabi, Azad, of Anil Antony, of Himanta Biswa Sarma to spell out Adani. Is it fair to them to drag their name into this?
No one is important. This country is important. This country's constitution is important. And this constitution gives Rahul Gandhi the full right to raise voice against the corruption.
Okay.
We are not afraid of ED. We are not afraid of CBI.
But that's not
Few
the question
people
I'm asking you. I'm asking you the question about linking your own former leaders to Adani Rao. Why?
As a Congress worker, my responsibility is to even bring you on the track. The real question is Adani, not former Congress or BJP leaders.
But
Here,
you're
actions
the
are
one who
given
dragged